Today, we explore the life of Henry Ford, the visionary who revolutionized the automotive industry. From his workshop on a farm to the creation of the iconic Model T, Ford not only changed the way cars are made, but also how the world lives and moves. Discover the story of the man who put the world on wheels. Welcome to The King of Business, the channel where we explore the lives and legacies of industry titans who have left an indelible mark on history. In this series, we focus on Henry Ford, a pioneer of the automotive industry whose vision and determination transformed the way we live and work. Get ready for a fascinating journey through the life of a man whose influence is still felt today. From workshop to fame, the story of Henry Ford. Henry Ford was born on July 30th, 1863, on a farm in Springwells Township, Wayne County, Michigan, USA. He was the first child of William Ford and Mary Lydigot Ford, both Irish immigrants. From an early age, Ford showed an unusual interest in mechanics and machines. At the age of 15, he disassembled and reassembled a pocket watch, marking the beginning of his fascination with engineering. Ford grew up in a rural setting, where daily life revolved around farm chores. However, his curiosity and innate ability to understand the workings of machines set him apart from his siblings and other young people in his community. Ford frequently visited workshops and observed workers repairing agricultural machinery. His family, initially skeptical of his interests, eventually supported his desire to pursue a career in mechanics. In 1879, at the age of 16, Ford left home to work as an apprentice machinist in Detroit, where he honed his technical skills. He first worked at James F. Flower and Brothers, and later at the Detroit Dry Dock Company. During this time, Ford acquired essential knowledge about the operation and repair of complex machinery. In 1882, he temporarily returned to the family farm, but his passion for mechanics led him to work at a portable steam engine company in Westinghouse. In 1891, Ford joined the Detroit Edison Company as an engineer, where he quickly rose to chief engineer. This position allowed him to devote himself to his true passion, building an internal combustion engine. The pivotal moment in Ford's life came in 1903 when he founded the Ford Motor Company with a group of investors. The company was immediately successful, but it was in 1908 with the introduction of the Model T that Ford truly revolutionized the industry. The Model T was notable for its durability, ease of handling, and low cost, making it accessible to the American middle class. Before founding Ford Motor Company, Ford had launched two companies that failed: the Detroit Automobile Company in 1899 and the Henry Ford Company in 1901. However, these failures did not deter him. The Ford Motor Company began with a capital of $28,000 and produced its first car, the Model A, in July 1903. The success of the Model T was so great that by 1918, half of all cars in the United States were Model Ts. One of Henry Ford's greatest achievements was the implementation of the assembly line in his factories in 1913. This innovation allowed for mass production of automobiles, significantly reducing costs and production time. The efficiency of the assembly line not only transformed the automotive industry, but also influenced other manufacturing sectors. The introduction of the assembly line marked a revolution in industrial production. Before this innovation, each car was assembled by a team of workers who moved around the vehicle under construction. Ford's assembly line allowed the car to move along a conveyor belt, while workers performed specific and repetitive tasks. This not only sped up production, but also standardized vehicle quality. Ford managed to reduce the assembly time of a car from 12 hours to just 90 minutes. Ford's vision was not limited to automobile production. He also introduced a minimum wage of $5 per day for his workers in 1914, double the standard of the time. This measure not only improved the quality of life for his employees, but also helped create a prosperous middle class, capable of buying the products they themselves manufactured. Ford's wage increase was initially met with skepticism and criticism by other industrialists, but it had a positive domino effect on the economy. The high wage attracted the best workers and reduced staff turnover, which in turn improved productivity. Additionally, Ford instituted the 8-hour workday, helping to establish the modern labor standard. His policy of paying good wages also had a significant impact on society, fostering the growth of a mass consumption-based economy. Ford Motor Company was not limited to the American market. Under Ford's direction, the company expanded globally, establishing production plants in Europe and Latin America. Today, Ford Motor Company has a significant presence worldwide, with manufacturing plants in numerous countries and a diverse range of vehicles. Ford established his first overseas plant in Manchester, England in 1911, followed by one in Canada. In the following decades, the company continued to expand internationally, establishing assembly plants in countries like Argentina, Brazil, Germany, India, and South Africa. This expansion allowed Ford to adapt to local markets and meet the global demand for cars. The company was also a pioneer in introducing vehicles adapted to local needs and conditions, such as the Ford Falcon in Argentina and the Ford Icon in India. In addition to Ford Motor Company, Henry Ford also founded the Fordson Company, dedicated to the manufacture of tractors. His interest in aviation led him to invest in the Stout Metal Airplane Company, a Ford subsidiary that produced commercial and military aircraft. Ford was also an active philanthropist, founding the Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit and establishing the Ford Foundation, one of the largest philanthropic organizations in the world. The Fordson Company, founded in 1917, revolutionized agriculture by producing affordable and efficient tractors that replaced horses on many farms. In aviation, Ford acquired the Stout Metal Airplane Company in 1925, which produced the Ford Trimotor, a transport aircraft widely used in commercial and military aviation. Besides his business achievements, Ford was a visionary in the fields of education and health, establishing the Henry Ford Museum and Greenfield Village, which preserved the history of industrial and technological innovation. Henry Ford died on April 7, 1947, at the age of 83, leaving a lasting legacy in the automotive industry and society in general. His focus on innovation, efficiency, and worker welfare remains a guide for modern business practices. Ford left a complex legacy. Although he was an innovator and pioneer in the industry, he was also a controversial figure due to his personal and political opinions. Despite this, his contribution to the automotive industry and the modernization of industrial production is undeniable. The ideas and principles he established at Ford Motor Company remain relevant today, and his influence can be seen in the structure and operation of many modern companies. Despite his achievements, Henry Ford's life was not without controversy. One of the most significant was his association with anti-Semitic ideas. In the 1920s, Ford bought the newspaper The Dearborn Independent, where he published a series of anti-Semitic articles titled The International Jew. These articles were consolidated into a book that had a great influence, even in Nazi Germany. Ford never publicly retracted these opinions, although he later issued an apology to the Jewish community, the sincerity of which remains debated. The Rogue River plant, also known as the Ford Rouge Complex, was one of the largest and most innovative factories of its time. However, rumors and urban legends exist about working conditions at the plant. It is said that Ford had a private police force that monitored workers and suppressed any attempt at unionization. Some workers claimed there was espionage and a constant atmosphere of surveillance, contributing to a sense of mystery and fear surrounding the plant's operations. In an attempt to secure a steady supply of rubber for tire production, Henry Ford acquired a vast tract of land in the Brazilian Amazon rainforest in 1928. This project, known as Fordlandia, aimed to create an industrial community based on Ford's principles of efficiency and productivity. However, the project failed spectacularly due to a lack of understanding of the region's climatic and social conditions, as well as the local workers' resistance to the strict norms imposed. Today, Fordlandia is a ghost town, a testament to Ford's ambitious but failed attempt to impose his industrial vision on the Amazon rainforest. Another mysterious element in Henry Ford's life is the existence of a supposed black notebook in which he is said to have recorded his most private thoughts and strategic plans. Although its existence has never been confirmed, some historians and biographers have speculated about its contents, suggesting it could contain details about his business strategies, personal thoughts, and possibly his most controversial opinions. This notebook, if it exists, could offer an unprecedented insight into the mind of one of the most influential businessmen of the 20th century. Henry Ford had a little-known interest in sustainable materials and agriculture. In the 1940s, Ford actively promoted the use of bioplastics made from soybeans. In fact, in 1941, he introduced a prototype car called the soybean car, whose body was made from a soybean-based plastic and other plants. This car, although never mass-produced, weighed 30% less than traditional steel cars and was notably more impact-resistant. Ford firmly believed in the idea of using renewable resources for car manufacturing, anticipating modern trends in sustainability and bioplastics. We have explored the life and legacy of Henry Ford, from his humble beginnings to his transformation of the automotive industry with mass production in the Model T. His vision and innovation changed the way we live and work, leaving a lasting impact on society and the global economy. Ford not only revolutionized car manufacturing, but also promoted labor improvements and explored sustainable ideas, such as his soybean car prototype. Although his life was marked by successes and controversies, his legacy continues to inspire entrepreneurs and visionaries around the world. On The King of Business, we will continue to bring stories of other industry giants who have left their mark on history. Thank you for joining us in this fascinating exploration of Henry Ford. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications for more inspiring content. See you in the next episode of The King of Business.